Good evening, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network here this Thursday evening. Tonight, the ICAR Series, their Cup Series, the Gen 6 cars, take on Atlanta for 130 laps here this evening. It'll be race number 2 of this 28-race series that'll be broadcasted here on the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. I'm Dustin Caldwell. Thank you for tuning in out there on YouTube. Drivers are going to be set to go qualifying for a 10-minute session here. They got 2 laps to put down. We are going to move to the Star Spangled Banner, Madison Rising, the most patriotic band out there today. Definitely want to check them out on the web at madisonrising.com or on Facebook. Just look up Madison Rising. But they're going to go ahead and play our Star Spangled Banner. We'll be back right after this.
Are you ready? ready. Showtime.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network here this Thursday evening as drivers are finishing up their qualifying times and are going to be set to go to the grid in just a few moments. Tonight, as we mentioned, it's the ICAR Series, their Cup Series, taking on Atlanta Motor Speedway for 130 laps this evening. And as we watch some of the drivers finish up their qualifying sets here, let's take a look at the results in the qualifying order as it stands. Dylan Duvall has the fast time of a 28.006, almost running a 28 flat. Jonathan Wall in second, just 1/10 of a second off your race, or the fast qualifier so far. Dustin L. Johnson, Jonathan Eason, and AJ Brissett are your top five so far here in qualifying. A little bit about the track where we're at here, folks. We are at Atlanta Motor Speedway this evening, this 1.5 mile track. And as you can take a look at the track temperature, it's 104 degrees here. And I tell you what, that's going to give us some slick conditions for the race here tonight. Taking a look at the weather, 78 degrees in the air, 104 on the track. And even throw in 55% of humidity, folks. I tell you what, it's going to be interesting to see how these 130 laps are going to play out here tonight. Out there in YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it here. This is the ICAR Series premiere debuting here on the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. Show you the schedule that they got here. As you can see, it's 28 races. It's the first 18 taking us up to the first chase round. Then they will go for about 6 races in this first chase round and then finish out with the top 10 drivers in the final rounds, taking us all the way up to race number 28 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We are at Atlanta this week. They came off of a race last week at Daytona, and it was a great race there, as David Keynes was able to take victory there in Daytona. Eddie Baker Jr. right there behind him. AJ Brissett came in third, Jonathan Eason in fourth, and Kevin Fetty rounded out your top 5 at Daytona. So the points as it stands, I mean, David Keynes is your series points leader coming into the second race here tonight, followed by Eddie Baker, AJ Brissett, Jonathan Eason, and Kevin Fetty. So the top 5 finishes are the top 5 in points coming here tonight. Just a few more moments left in qualifying, folks. We are going to be set to get you down to the grid here, as it looks like Dylan Duvall in that 42 car is going to be the fast man here tonight. Race control going over the final preparations, letting the drivers know what their expectations are on such a hot race surface this evening. Any predictions out there in YouTube, go ahead and throw them out there. I've seen some people giving a shout out for AJ Brissett to win here tonight. If you got a prediction and somebody and a driver you want to win, definitely let us know and we'll get it out over here on the air for you. Looks like they got about 2 minutes possibly remaining here before we go to the grid. So we're going to kick on a little bit of tunage here for you, and we'll be back when they're ready to hit the grid. Actually, we'll kill the tunage because right there it is, folks. All right. Greasing up the wheels on this broadcast here this evening. We're ready to go to the grid, folks. Taking a look at the poll here this evening. There's your pole sitter, the Brandon Houck Racing, number 42 of Dylan Duvall. Had a good qualifying time here tonight. To his outside, the number 2. That is Jonathan Wall out there in that GoPro Chevrolet. Back to the insides. Third place here is Dustin L. Johnson in that Nestle Crunch Ice Cream and Candy Camry. He'll be starting third. Fourth place has not made it out here so far to the grid. We're going to have to skip over him here to get through the rest of the grid as we see AJ Brissett back there in 6th. The 4th of Jonathan Ethan there in 5th. The 22 of William Long in 8th. Then we have the 40 starting to the inside row. That's Eddie Baker Jr. The 7 of William Eason will be starting 10th. The 87, that is Clay Harris, will be starting 9th. Looking back to the next position and the next row back on the outside, you'll have that 32. That is Daniel Keynes. To his inside, you have the 21, folks. That is John Diekman and that Wounded Warrior Project Ford Fusion here tonight. Rusty Capel will be sporting that fiery DuPont there, number 25. The number 11 of Thomas Smith to the inside, running that Navy car. You got the 13 of Ethan McColligan there in that STEM Simex car. And we'll try to get the rest of the drivers here, folks, but as they are making their way around, we're going to go ahead and get you back up to your leader. That is Dylan Duvall sitting on the pole here this evening. Bring it up to the chopper cam for you. As they are bringing them into turns 3 and 4, we're going to be set to go racing for 130 laps here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Pace car is set to go into the pits as they come out of turn number 4. There it goes, pace car into the pits.
Green, green, green.
And the green flag flies, and we're off to the races here at Atlanta. Look at these cars barreling around the first few turns. Into the back straightaway they go. And we got a caution flag already, folks. As it looks like it's going to possibly be the 66 of Brian Wright involved in that. See if we can bring up the replay cam for you here. Possibly see what went on in this caution. And as taking a look down there, you're going to see a little bit of bump action between, looks like the 13. We'll take it in a little bit closer for you here. And the 53, that's Joe Morgani, who's going to be involved with the 13 of Ethan Cooligan. And the 28 also involved, that is Jeremy Collette. A little bit of cautions, nerves in the air here tonight, folks, as they're getting it all out here in this slick track in Atlanta.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network's coverage here of the ICAR Series at Atlanta Motor Speedway. We had a first caution come out just in the first few laps. Drivers getting their nerves settled down here tonight. We're going to be set to go green on lap number 5 as they're coming out of turn 4. Pace car into the pits. Here we go. Green flag flies, and we're back to the races. Making our way into turn number 1. Here they come. And as we take a look now, there is your race leader, folks, the 42 of Dylan Duvall, making his way into the back straightaway here tonight. Started on the pole, you got the 2 of Jonathan Wall right there behind him. And look how close they're getting heading into turn number 3. Side-by-side racing action. Here comes the 33 of Seth DeMerchant to the outside of the 2 of Jonathan Wall. Now he goes to the inside, making a pass. All the way up into second position goes Seth DeMerchant in that 33 car. Looking back in 4th position, we've got Dustin L. Johnson, the 17 car. Rounding out your top 5 here is Jonathan Eason, and then number 4 machine making his way into turns 3, now turn 4. Some good battling up front, though, as we see Dylan Duvall pulling out ahead. Let's take a look at the driver drop on Seth DeMerchant there. As you look up to the top left of your screen, you're going to see he's 0.3 of a second and catching him. Once he heads out of turn 2 into the back straightaway, imagine he's going to pick up a little bit of time. As you can see, hundredths of seconds, he's catching up towards the 42 of Dylan Duvall. Let's jump back to 8th position. There we see the 22 of William Long in that Buffalo Wild Wings car, making his way across the front stretch. Coming across the start-finish line into lap number 8 here tonight. Clay Harrison, that 87 machine right there behind him. And coming out of turn 2 into the back straightaway they go. This guy here, folks, you want to keep your eye on him, the 51 of AJ Brissett. Nice looking paint scheme on his car this evening as he's heading out of turn 4. That's where you're going to want to keep an eye on as well. Turn number 4 is what claims victims here at Atlanta. As we look now, just look at the lines being run from Duvall and DeMerchant. DeMerchant choosing to run the higher line into turns 1 and 2. And now let's look once again at his driver drop, as he's been able to maintain it, running a little bit of an opposite line that Duvall's running as we watch him come across. Watch the line he runs into 1 and 2. See, notice how high he stays compared to the 42 of Duvall, who goes low into the turns, and yet they are maintaining their gap here this evening. Oh, and we got some cars. A little bit of bump action going on from some cars there. So we're looking at the 66 of Brian C. Wright involved in the first caution here tonight. Not the cause, but he wasn't involved. Another guy there, Ethan McCulligan. As you look at the damage there on that 13 car, he was involved in the first caution as well here this evening. Back up to your race leader, coming into turns 3 and 4 now. Into the front straightaway they come. Here comes Dylan Duvall pulling around Seth the Merchant. Making her way into turns 1 and 2. Here they come. And look at the speed they are putting down here this evening. And here they come across the start-finish line. Dylan Duvall taking them across. As you're looking at the speed that he's running here tonight, 185 miles an hour, and climbing goes the 42. That Brandon Houck racing machine of Dylan Duvall. Back in 7th position, we got a good battle brewing here between the 22 of William Long and that Buffalo Wild Wings and the 40 of Eddie Baker Jr., the guy second in points here tonight. Came in second last week at Daytona. Here they come across the start-finish line in the lap number 14. These guys diving it down deep in these corners. Definitely going to try to keep as much grip on these tires as they can. Because once they start to degrade, turn 4 is going to be the beast that they're going to have to fight here this evening. Right there behind them in the 51, that's AJ Brissett. Saw a little bit from him early on as he started 6th. He's fallen back a couple of positions, but don't count this guy out. He's known to be a late game driver and finding his way up towards the top 5 at the end of the race. David Keynes, folks, right here he comes down the back straightaway. The 32 car. He was your winner last week in Daytona, leader in points. And we got another caution flag here this evening. Let's take it up to our blimp cam to see if we can get you possibly who was involved in that. As it looks like Brian C. Wright being the go-to guy again. Let's take a look at the replay for you. Gonna watch Brian C. Wright come around, possibly get it from his camera angle. As you see in the smoke come off the tires. Hoping to see something happen out of here, but Brian not able to catch it on his cam here this evening. A couple other cars just taking a look around the field if we could capture who brought out that caution. And some damage there to John McKeege. Not sure if he was involved in that, but that car does not look like it's going to be returning to the track here this evening. Tough break there for the number 8 of John McKeege this evening. Well, we've gotten to lap number 17 so far. Couple cautions here tonight. Let's go ahead and take a look at the statistics for you here. Pull it up on the screen. As drivers are making their way down pit road, Dylan Duvall into his pits. 2 lead changes, 2 cautions here so far in the first 16 laps of this race. Four tire swap for the 42 of Dylan Duvall. right, people, we got some music for you there. Hope you enjoyed it there during this caution break. The lights have come off the pace car. We're going to be set to go green on lap number 20. Dylan Duvall, Seth DeMerchant are going to be up front, taking us back to the green flag here this evening. As they're making their way in the back straightaway, let's take it up to the chopper cam for you here. Top 5 rundown as it stands. Dylan Duvall, Seth DeMerchant. You have Dustin L. Johnson, Jonathan Easton, and Jonathan Wall. If I could get a nickel for every John, whether it's in the first name or the last name here tonight, I'd be a millionaire, folks.
Green flag.
And the green flag flies. As we're a little bit on the replay here. Let's bump it up back to the green flag. Here we go. As you can see, DeMerchant making his way through the back straightaway. A little bit of lag in our cams tonight. I do apologize for that. Here they come, turns 3 and 4. Look at the side-by-side racing action we've got. 2 almost 3 wide coming out of turn number 4. Coming across the start-finish line. Here they come. Take a look throughout the field. Got some great racing going on. Making our way into turns 3 and 4. Taking a look there at the 17 of Dustin L. Johnson. Started 3rd to fell back to 4th. But here's a good battle brewing now as the 4 of Jonathan Easton looking to the inside towards turn number 1. Will he have it? He's not going to make the move yet. Look at these guys go high. The 33 of Seth DeMerchant running that high line, and it's working for him here tonight. Amazingly, most guys are electing to go low and possibly to the middle groove, but it's almost like DeMerchant and that 33 car is pulling off an Xfinity move at Miami Homestead that we saw at the last race of the year. A couple of the drivers were riding that wall, as we're going to watch him come around again here. Notice how high he goes compared to the rest of the field. And look at him now, taking a look at his driver drop off of Duvall. He's only a 1/10 of a second and climbing towards the 42. Will we have another lead change here tonight? Oh, he got a little loose. He got loose! But he's able to save it, folks. That's what we were talking about. Turn number 4. And here comes the number 2 of Jonathan Wall going deep into that corner. DeMerchant keeping it high. Side by side they come down the back straightaway. Seth DeMerchant, Jonathan Wall, and Wall's going to lose out to the 33 heading into turn number 3. Let's jump back to 11th position as last week's winner, folks. Taking a look at David Caines coming across the start-finish line into lap number 25 here tonight. Started 12th, he's up 1 position into 11th here. Not sure if Atlanta is looking to be his track. We know Daytona was, as he walked out of there with the win last week. Here's the 21 of Jonathan Diekman now, coming into turns 3 and 4. Oh, and we got 87 of Clay Harris, folks. Clay Harris going into the grass. Getting really loose and getting close to the 32 there of David Caines coming into 1 and 2. Back up towards your race lead. Let's take a look at him. Here he comes, the 42 of Dylan Duvall here. Led 24 laps of the 26 here tonight. The other two going to, I believe it was a split between Jonathan Wall and another driver due to caution or pit stops, excuse me. DeMerchant still electing to run that high line in the first couple of turns. And it looks like they are now starting to pull away from the rest of the pack as the number 2 and 4 side by side in turns 3 and 4. Here they come. The number 2 up high is Jonathan Wall. The number 4 down low is Jonathan Easton. And you get 2 Jonathans. My goodness, I'm racking up that $1 million already with all these Johns here. Because right there behind him is the 17 of Dustin Johnson. And we almost coming close to 3 wide if Johnson makes the move, but he's going to settle behind the 2 of Jonathan Wall. Number 14 of Rusty Capel now coming back out on the track in the back straightaway as he's had some issues with that 25 DuPont car. Might look like he's going back into the pits. Still have not got everything worked out here this evening. Have to see if we can get what's going on there. Looking up in 6th position, William Long in that 22 Buffalo Wild Wings machine making his way through the field. Started 8th. Currently up to 6th. Out of turn number 4. Look like he's going to pass the number 4 of Jonathan Eason as they are side by side. And he does. Heading into turn number 1 goes the 22 of William Long to take 4th position. Or excuse me, the 5th position from Jonathan Eason. Here's your leader, folks, as he's getting ready to come out of turn number 4 towards lap number 31, the 42 of Dylan Duvall. Let's take a look at the top 5 here once they cross the start-finish line. Top 5, Dylan Duvall, Seth the Merchant, Dustin Johnson, Jonathan Wall, and William Long are your top 5 here on lap number 31. Everybody's nerves have settled down. We're starting to see a little bit of fan out between the drivers. As we take a look back at William Long, there in your top 5 is now pulling away from the 4 of Jonathan Eason. Let's get down and get you a little more action closer to the field. Oh, and we have some guys hitting the wall on turn number 1. Looked like it might have been the 32 of David Kane's getting into the wall. Turns 1 and 2, trying to counterbalance the effects of turns 3 and 4. And now Duvall, what a lead he has got. Look at that, uncontested into the first couple of turns. As we take a look at Seth the Merchant making his way down the back straightaway. You can see the car in front is the leader. But we do have a caution. I believe seeing some more damage there on the 13 of Ethan McCulligan. Have to go back and take a look, see if we could possibly get you the replay on that one. Dial it back just a little bit further here. Following Ethan McCulligan through the field. And doesn't look like we're going to be able to have it for you. I do apologize on that, folks. The pace car has come out again here this evening. Little statistics for you here before we go to a commercial break real quick. 33 laps, 3 cautions, 3 lead changes. Key word being 3 here tonight. Turn number 3 giving us a little bit of fits, as well as turn number 4. We are going to move to a short commercial break. When we come back, we're going to have some more race action for you. welcome back, folks. As we're seeing the lights come off that pace car, a few guys getting the wave around here tonight. Be set to go green on lap number 37. Still Duvall and Wall. Jonathan Wall, the number 2 up front, will be taking us back to the green. Taking a look from our chopper cam out there. Towards the back straightaway they go. Towards turn number 3. It's going to be Dylan Duvall, Jonathan Wall, Dustin Johnson, and William Long will be your front 4. Coming out of turn number 4, folks. Pace car into the pits.
Green flag.
Here they go. Back to the green flag on lap number 37. As you're watching the 42 Duvall bringing them in. Still some smoke flying from these cars. Into turns 3 and 4 now. Taking a look at Duvall coming across the start-finish line, lap number 38. He's got a number 2 GoPro, and there goes Jonathan Wall to the inside. What a move! Will he have it? Into the back straightaway. They're side by side. Does he have the momentum? And it's going to be possibly a no. He's going to carry that low line. No, he will settle in behind the 42 of Dylan Duvall. As you see there, Dylan Duvall still holding off the number 2 of Jonathan Wall, Dustin L. Johnson, right there in third, the 17 Nestle Crunch Machine. The 42 of Duvall trying to run the 33s line that's set to Merchant, who is back there in 6th. And now comes Wall to the inside. Look at the side-by-side racing. The 17 of Johnson trying to capitalize. Here they come across the start-finish line. Lap number 40. What a battle up front for the lead. Look at the gap coverage and the lines that these guys are running through these curves. DeMerchant there on the move now. Here he comes, folks. This guy was battling Duvall for the lead. And look at him just swimming through this traffic as he overtook the 22 of William Long just half a lap ago. And he's already looking at the bumper of the 40 of Eddie Baker Jr. there in 4th position. Still running that high line. Let's look back up at the race lead now as the gap coverage is going to expand between the 42 and the 2. Dylan Duvall leading Jonathan Wall now. Looking back in 7th position comes the 87 of Clay Harris, who drove it through the grass out of turn 4 about 10 laps ago and has since been able to stay in 7th position here. He started 9th on the pole. Or on the grid, excuse me. Losing my words here just a little bit. Brian C. Wright there, involved in the first caution of the night. Started 20th, is up to 10th position. Taking a look at the 32 of David Kane's last week's winner is down 5 laps here tonight. Definitely not a good night for that 32 car. Back up to your race leader. Here he comes. He's got an ever-expanding gap there on the 2 as we watch the 2 of Jonathan Wall. Wow, does the caution flag fly yet again? This being a tough track to be able to capture what exactly happened through the field. And I've seen DeMerchant possibly get up into the wall. Let's bring a replay there on the 33 of Seth DeMerchant, see if we can capture possibly what happened. Here they come out of turn number 4. A little bit of bump action there. He got really wobbly. Heading into turn number 1. Wow, and there he goes, folks. Seth DeMerchant's going to go for a ride. Up into the wall he goes. And apparently race control saw that as being a potential cautionary reason to throw the yellow flag here tonight to keep the damage minimal there for the 33 of Seth DeMerchant. So as we take a look, Jonathan Diekman is going to make his way up towards the lead. As Duval, I believe, is making his way into the pits. Here he is down pit road. Leaders up there as we see the 2 of Jonathan Wall right there behind him, actually blending in with him, trying to beat him off pit road there. 17 of Dustin Johnson. Well, looks like we're going to have a little bit of flip-flop action here with the top 5 while everybody is making their pit stops. We take a look at the guy up front, the 21 of John Diekman, right there behind the pace car, set to go into the pits as well. A little bit of connection issues with some cars. Let's see if we can bring in the guy who's led the most laps here tonight and see what he can get as far as his opinion of the race here tonight. Dylan Duval, this is Dustin Caldwell up in the booth. Are you there?
Yeah, I got a coffee.
Well, you know, what a race has been for you so far here tonight. You know, as we take a look, you led 41 laps of this race. Tell us a little bit about how the car's handling and your strategy coming in here to Atlanta.
The strategy is just basically just try to lead as many laps as we can and try to make up points for missing Daytona. Car's a bit of a handful though. It's really tight in 1 and 2 and really loose out of 4. So car's a little bit of a handful, but we're dealing with it. Unfortunately, we got a black flag trying to beat Wall out of the pits right there, so we'll have to come to the front.
Yeah, we did see a little bit of speeding. Was kind of wondering about that as you guys kind of merged together as far as the cars looked, but you got to be kind of intrigued a little bit, I should say, because David Keynes coming into tonight was leader in the series points and is sitting back in 13th position, 4 laps down. So that, talking about a makeup week for you, this is definitely the track to do it. Have you had a lot of experience here at Atlanta?
Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite tracks. I've always enjoyed running here. Ran the Pro Series race here probably about a month ago or so now, and we had a good run there. We ran top 5 and finished there. I actually grabbed the pole for it, so I'd say this is one of my better tracks. Happy for this to be the first race to try to make up points. It's a good one for me.
Was there any drivers you're looking out for here this evening?
Well, I was looking out for Seth. He got caught up in a crash right there, unfortunately, but Wall is usually really good, so it'll be interesting to see how that works out, but definitely Wall's probably my biggest competition right now.
All right, and last but not least, any shout-outs you'd like to give?
I'd like to thank Brian and everyone for putting on the league. They do a great job, and you guys for broadcasting.
All right, best of luck to you in the main of the race there, bud.
Thank you.
All right, folks, there you have it. Some words there from Dylan Duval in the 42. He was your leader for the most part, had got a black flag trying to beat Justin Wall off the pit road. Had to come in and serve it. And will be pushed back all the way to 8th position. As we take a look up front, the lights are off the pace car. The two of Jonathan Wall and Dustin L. Johnson in the 17 are up front. Pace car into the pits. Here we go. Green flag flies. Here they come. And as we take a look up front to your leader, there he is, Jonathan Wall, the guy who's fought so hard up against the 42 of Dylan Duvall, now is in the lead, battling against the 17 of Dustin L. Johnson, who is catching up to him here into turns 1 and 2. Here they come down the back straightaway. We got a good battle up here for the lead. Dustin Johnson to the inside, that Nestle car. Is he going to make it work? He's going to try to push out the two of Jonathan Wall into turn 4, making him run high, and look at the move! Here comes Dustin Johnson up to the lead here tonight. What a move it was from the 17 out of turn number 4 like a slingshot. He shoots by the two of Jonathan Wall to assume the lead here tonight. And as we take a look at the statistics, 9 lead changes now in the first 50 laps of the race. We've had 4 cautions for 15 laps of pacing. And look who's on the move, folks. Here he is. The guy who started on the pole, and we just talked to him, was started 8th position, coming off that caution, and is already back up to the top 3 as he's going up high to the two of Jonathan Wall, and now he's going to go by him. Taking a look at his driver drop, he's about a half a second off of Johnson. And he's climbing him. Here he comes. Look at this guy on the move. Let's bring that driver drop back up to see how fast he's gaining on him. 3.5 tenths of a second, folks, into turns 1 and 2. And it looks like he's falling back just a little bit, but look at this, gain. Wow, he's under 2 tenths now. Towards turns 3 and 4. He is running them down here tonight. Brian C. Wright, back there in 20th, started 20th. He's back there in 7th position here tonight. Some good running there from that Wrestling Soup 66 car. Some good battles going on here between Jonathan Eason and the 87 of Clay Harris. But look at this 42 now on the bumper of the 17 of Dustin Johnson. Into turns 1 and 2 they go. The 42 elected to go high. Kind of learning from Seth the Merchant early. And side by side they go. Ladies and gentlemen, here comes the 42 to take the lead. What a move by the 42 of Dylan Duvall to once again reclaim the lead here on lap number 55. This car has come to drive here tonight, folks. 8 positions. And in the last 4 laps, this 42 car has climbed to be able to take the lead over the 17 of Dustin Johnson. Some guys coming out of turns 1 and 2. Good side-by-side battle there between the 25. Oh! And we got a guy hitting the apron. That's the 7 of William Eason. Tough break there for that car. He got loose coming out of turn number 2. As we're seeing more drivers starting to fan out now. Was talking about the 25 of Rusty Capel as he was having a good battle there with William Eason before William Eason got loose. Capel tonight started 14th. He's up to 8th position. We had 20 cars start on the grid here this evening, folks. And I tell you, we're about down to 15 still in the race. And here comes your leader out of turn number 4, still extending the gap between him and Dustin Johnson. Dylan Duvall working his way towards turn number 1. Jonathan Wall, the guy who led us back to green, has fallen about 1.5 seconds off of Duvall now. Right there behind him is Jonathan Easton in that number 4 Monster Energy car. Clay Harris in that 87 coming out of turn number 4. So that is your top 5, folks. Dylan Duvall, Dustin Johnson, just Jonathan Wall, Jonathan Easton, and Clay Harris are your top 5. As we see your leader now coming out of turn number 4. Once again, we take a look at the 32 of David Keynes, folks. Still 5 laps down for this gentleman here tonight. He was last week's winner coming into tonight's race, the leader in points after taking the victory in Daytona. Just been a tough night for that gentleman right there in the 32. As you see now, the 42 of Duvall making his way in the back straightaway towards turn number 3. A few other drivers making their way down into the pits. I believe that was the 13 we saw there of Ethan McCooligan. McCooligan there making his way towards pit road, or just running low. We thought he was coming into the pits, but I guess he's just running really low, trying to keep that car under wraps as he wants to accumulate some points here tonight. Dustin Johnson started 3rd here. He's up to 2nd now, just about a second off of your race leader, Dylan Duvall. Almost hitting 200 miles an hour coming across that front stretch into turn number 1. So we finally got some good green flag racing going on here, folks. As drivers are fanning out. Yet again, there's the 33 of Seth DeMerchant. Guy started 4th. He was looking pretty good for a little bit there until he got into the wall in turn 2 and put some damage on that car that you still see up there on the front left side. So you see a little bit of crinkling going on right there towards the left quarter panel. And there he gets a little bit loose coming out of turn 2. Wonder if that will be a momentum changer there for the 33. I'm seeing possibly somebody's engine blew.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
We go to our blimp camera here. Another caution flag flies here tonight. Trying to capture who's involved. It's really tough when you're a one-man operation, folks, to be able to capture these. Do apologize for not able to get you the replays. As we do see the 22 of William Long down there on pit road. Let's throw up a replay cam here and see if we could get some action from the 22. And he's still sitting on pit road, so doesn't look like it's going to be from him. Again, we do apologize, not able to get you the action there. But it is Dylan Duvall still leading it here tonight. as you are watching the ICAR series, their Cup series, taking on Atlanta race number 2 of their 28 race series here tonight. We'll move to a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll have some more race action for you. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here to Atlanta Motor Speedway this lovely Thursday evening. It's the ICAR Series, Cup Series here. About 70 laps into it here tonight of this 130-lap event. Lights have come off that pace car. We're going to be set to go green. Lap number 71. As they're making their way down the back straightaway, you can see it up there, folks. It is Dylan Duvall in the 42 down low, the 2 of Justin Wall up high. 87 of Clay Harris making his way up to the 3rd position. And now the 66 of Brian C. Wright in that wrestling suit 66 machine. Ford Fusion there will be starting 4th here when we go back to the green. Pace car taking them out of 4. Pace cars into the pits. Here we go. Green flag flies. We're back to the races on lap number 71. And there is Duvall up there up front here tonight. Taking a look, he's led 55 laps of this race here this evening. Fastest lap, 28.144. And here comes the 2 of Justin Wall right behind, who's led 6 laps of this race. It's a good hard battle for first place. Into the inside he goes. Here comes Jonathan Wall to take the lead on lap number 72. And he's got a momentum shift. Look at him pull away. As now, when we look at Duval, his driver drop, he's fallen 2/10 behind the number 2 of Jonathan Wall, excuse me. Do apologize. I got a lot of Johns either way in this race here tonight. Looking back to 3rd and 4th position, there's the number 4 of Jonathan Eason, battling up against the 87 of Clay Harris in turns 1 and 2. The number 4 of Jonathan Eason deciding to take the high line. As we saw, pretty much the only guy the first part of this race was Seth the Merchant taking that high line. Seth the Merchant back there in 6th position. Started 4th here tonight. Just hasn't recovered to be able to contest for the lead ever since he got into the wall about 25 laps ago. As we see him run his high line there in turns 1 and 2. Was looking a little bit loose, has probably not been able to get the speed he's been looking for in lieu of being loose here tonight. Dustin Johnson now, as we take a look, is back in 7th position. He was a guy that's led 5 laps of this race and has since fallen. After the last pit stops, the guys got some adjustments done to their car. Jonathan Diekman, right there, started 11th, is up to 8th position here this evening as he's making his way up high to the 32 of David Keynes, who's in 9th position. Brian Wright there is in 5th. A little bit of flip-flop there going on between those guys, and depending upon where they are, the 2 cars between or in front and behind Brian Wright are a few laps down. Jonathan Wall, still your race leader here. As we see him make his way into turns 1 and 2 towards the back straightaway he goes. So for our viewers out there in YouTube, folks, tell us who tonight you think it's going to be. We've seen a lot of lead changes here tonight as we pull up the statistics for you. 13 lead changes in the first 77 laps of this race. 5 cautions for 18 laps here tonight. Who do you think it's going to be, as it looks like Duval now is catching up? And he does! Duval's going to pass Jonathan Wall for the lead. Make that 14 lead changes here now. As heading out turn 4, and there he goes, folks. Dylan Duval pulling that Brandon Houck Racing number 42 car ahead of the number 2 of Jonathan Wall. And as we take a look from our center field cam, you're seeing the great gap between the 42 and the 2. These 2 drivers have played a little bit of leapfrog here for the last 5 laps. And there we see the 87 of Clay Harris in the back straightaway towards turn number 3 goes in 4th position. Top 5, you can take a look at it. Dylan Duval, Jonathan Wall, Jonathan Eason, Clay Harris, and Brian Wright are your top 5. As Brian Wright still in between of a few cars that are a couple laps down, as we see John Diekman ahead of him in the 21 and the 22. That is William Long, who's 16 laps down. Still got some damage there on that Buffalo Wild Wings 22 car. Right there's the 40 of Eddie Baker Jr. Eddie Baker Jr., folks, had some damage there done on that car. He was second place at the Daytona race last week and has since fallen back to 11th position after starting 7th on the grid here tonight. Here's your leader. Coming down the back straightaway, the 42 of Dylan Duvall now. As we see him make his way out of turn 3 into 4. You see the gap growing between him and Jonathan Wall. As we see Jonathan Wall now, his driver drop 1.2 going on 1.3 seconds off the 42 of Dylan Duvall. Behind him in third is Jonathan Easton in that number 4 Monster Energy car. The 46 laps to go in the race here tonight. Drivers have settled out now. Now that we've had some green flag racing, they're getting some gaps going on and a little bit of paint scheme issues there for the number 4. I think that's all part of his design. It's got a blink effect there. Say, look at me, says Jonathan Easton in that Monster Energy car as he heads in out of turn number 2 into the back straightaway. See the gaps between these drivers ever expanding here as the more laps we go. Seth the Merchant coming out of turn number 4. Taking a look at the damage up high, and he gets into and he's going to get loose yet again here tonight. Whoa! And around goes Dim Merchant.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
He's going to bring out the next caution here this evening, folks. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replay there for you. After he's going to get into the wall, you're going to see Dim Merchant just get into a spin that he can't recover from. Bringing out another caution here tonight.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We got 40 laps to go. It'll be 39 once we go back green here at Atlanta. Appreciate you tuning in here to YouTube this evening to catch the ICAR Cup Series here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. As we see the lights have come off that pace car, we're going to be set to go green with 39 to go in the race. Down the back straightaway they go. Taking a look, it's the 2 of Jonathan Wall and the 42 of Dylan Duval. These guys have battled hard for the lead, each leading some laps here tonight. Jonathan Wall with 14 laps led, the 67 laps led from the 42 of Dylan Duval. Clay Harris back there in third, but Jonathan Easton in the 4 has put down 3 laps led here tonight. Pace car set to go into the pits coming out of turn number 4. Here we go, folks. Who's it going to be? 39 laps will decide it when they cross the start-finish line. Green flag flies, and we're back to the race. And here they come out of the turn number 2 into the back straightaway. Look at the battle up front between Jonathan Wall and Dylan Duval. Jonathan Wall in that 2 car down low. Getting a little bit of GoPro action there on that car here this evening, as he's now looking to try to extend his lead over the 42 of Dylan Duval. The 4 of Jonathan Easton right back there, trying to mock the line of the 42 of Duval as he goes high. Look at the difference in the lines and how they're working out as the 42 now has got some run. Here's some side draft. Here comes Dylan Duval to the inside. Turn number 3. Oh, and he might got a little bit loose, but here comes the momentum shift. And Dylan Duval takes the lead with 38 to go. It'll be 37 when they cross the start-finish line. What a move and some leapfrog action, because here comes the 2 of Jonathan Wall down low. And will he contest Dylan Duval for the lead? And he's got a run on him yet again. Here they are, turns 3 and 4, folks. Coming out of turn number 4, into the front stretch they come. You can see there, Jonathan Wall taking the low move as he dives it down into turns 1 and 2, while the 42 of Duval likes to go high. Down the back straightaway into turn 3 they go. 36 laps remaining in the race here this evening, folks. Duvall. Whoa, look at the move from the 4. As Jonathan Eason now comes up into second position. He's going to go to the inside of the 2 of Jonathan Wall to claim P2, second position. Down the front stretch they go into turn number 1. Will the 4 have the momentum to hold on to it as we take a look at the statistics there? On the 4 of Jonathan Eason. Started 5th, he's in 2nd. Led 3 laps, his fastest lap time here tonight, 28.409. And he's getting a little bit loose. We see some smoke. Oh! Tires going high on that. There's cooking on that car as he comes out of turn number 4. Still decides to keep it low, though, into turns 1 and 2. Down the back straightaway they come. And somebody got loose down there. Side by side, here comes Jonathan Wall back battling for second position. 32 laps to go in the race here tonight. And here he comes. Oh, gets into the bumper. Jonathan Eason not too happy about Jonathan Wall taking second position from him. So we see a lot of smoke coming in from some of the cars heading towards the pits. And now here comes Dustin Johnson to the inside. He's got a run. Got some side draft off the 4 of Eason. Down the back straightaway they come, and he's got some draft. But here comes the 4. Eason's got some momentum shift. Side draft off the 17 into turn 3. But he's going to go too high. He's going to lose a little bit off of him. And Duvall's still got a good lead out here tonight as we look them make their way down the back straightaway. Jonathan Wall holding off the 17 of Dustin Johnson. Jonathan Eason there still getting loose in turn 4. And now looks like the 17 might set up the 2 for a pass. Let's see if he does it. Getting a feel for the pass on the 2. And it looks like he's just going to settle in behind Jonathan Wall. Let's jump back to the 7th position, folks. Seth the Merchant here tonight. Been able to maintain, started 4th, but he's been able to maintain 7th position for quite a bit now for the last 30 laps. As we see some damage still on that car.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
And the caution flag flies yet again here tonight. And it looks like it's going to be John Diekman involved in this. Let's go to the replay cam there, see if we can see exactly what happened. So we'll back it up just a little bit more for you. We're going to see the Wounded Warrior car, number 21 of John Diekman. Once he comes out of turn number 4 here, folks, we'll see exactly what possibly happened on the car as he got a little bit loose out of turn 4. We talked about it already, and there it is, folks, right there. Into the grass he goes. Wow. John Diekman bringing out a caution here tonight. 26 laps remain. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the ICAR Cup Series here at Atlanta tonight. The lights have come off that pace car. We're going to be set to go green. Looking at the summary statistics here as they make a pass into the back straightaway. Out of the 106 laps they've put down here tonight, 16 lead changes, 7 cautions. We're going to be set to go green with 23 to go in the race here this evening. As you see now, once again, a good battle up front between the two of Jonathan Wall and the 42 of Dylan Duval. Dustin Johnson and Jonathan Eason up front. Pace car into the pits it goes. Green flag flies. We're back to the races. Here comes your leader, the 42, Dylan Duval here tonight, folks. 82 laps led, but it's not been an easy match. Oh, we got some contact between Dustin Johnson and Jonathan Wall. As we take a look back, Dustin Johnson, oh, and he's going to go spinning into the infield. Wow, does that car go for a ride, folks? He's able to save it. Let's back that up for you just real quick here and take a look. He's going to have contact with the Merchant. Wow. And that's going to send him to the infield. Is he going to go for a ride? But amazingly able to keep it underneath the apron into the infield to avoid drawing out another caution here this evening. As we look back up at your leader, Coming out of turn number 4 goes Dylan Duvall. Jonathan Wall now. His gap between him and the leader, almost a little over a half a second, heading into turns 1 and 2. You see Jonathan Wall making his way down the back straightaway. 16 laps led for that GoPro car this evening. DeMerchant now appears to be back on the lead lap, folks, in 4th position. This is the guy early on who was in 2nd place, battling up against the 42 of Dylan Duvall, putting the pressure on that 42 car. After, in the first 50 laps, he got into the wall and out of turn number 2, and that's where that damage is that you see on that car. Been tough to recover, but he's been able to do it and get it back up to 4th position where he started here on the grid this evening. Top 5 as it stands, folks. Dylan Duvall, Jonathan Wall, Jonathan Eason, Seth DeMerchant, and Brian Wright are your top 5 here with 18 to go. It'll be 17 when Duvall crosses the start-finish line. This guy here, folks, we're taking a look. 32 of David Kane's, last week's winner, the series points leader, coming into tonight's race. Was as far back as 5 laps down. Has got a couple of wave rounds, and he's now 3 laps down. Started 12th, and he's up into 7th. Though he may be a few laps down, he is a gain for him here this evening.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Oh, and we got a guy. And Easton was involved in this. Let's back it up and take a look at the replay for you, folks. And there you have it, 53. That's Joe Morgani. Tough break there for the number 4 of Jonathan Easton. Look at the damage on the front of that car. A little bit of lap traffic, creating problems for that Monster Energy number 4 of Jonathan Easton. We'll be back, folks. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 12 laps to go. It'll be 11 when we go back to green. As you see, the lights have come off that pace car. So take a look from our chopper cam. They're heading down the back straightaway. Here they come, the 42 of Dylan Duval and the 2 of Justin Wall. Now Seth the Merchant, the 33 car, has made his way up into third position. And the 17 of Dustin Johnson will round out your front four when we go back green. Pace car bringing him into turn 4 will be set to go green. It's going to pull off here in just a moment. 11 laps to go, folks. Who's it going to be tonight? Pace cars into the pits. Green flag flies. We're back to the race. And here comes the 42 of Duval into the back straightaway. Got a nice little gap there on the 2 of Jonathan Wall. Excuse me. And you can see a little bit of smoke coming off the tires. It was 104 degrees on the track temperature when they started the race here tonight, folks. And with the dynamic tracks in iRacing, can only imagine it's gotten even more slicker out there than it was when they started the race here. 10 laps to go. And look at Duval extend his gap over the 2 of Jonathan Wall now. Taking a look at Jonathan Wall and his driver drop. He is a half a second now off the 42, but don't count this guy out. He can find momentum where he needs it. We'll have to see how this will play out as we got 9 laps to go in this race. And the 17 Nestle Crunch of Dustin Johnson passes the 33 of Seth the Merchant, working his way up. As you see, his driver drops about 1.8 seconds off of Duval. Here comes the Merchant. The Merchant's not going to go quietly. Gaining on that 17 car. 8 laps to go in the race. Brian Wright in that 66 Wrestling Soup car trying to hold off the 51. The 51 there, AJ Brissett. Last week at Daytona, AJ Brissett was 3rd place. Tonight, he's looking to finish out in 13th as he passes the 66. 7 laps to go in the race, and there's your race leader, folks. 98 laps led there for the 42 of Dylan Duval. It's extended his lead over the 2 of Jonathan Wall. I keep wanting to say Justin. I do apologize to the 2 car. 16 laps led there for that gentleman. As we have 6 laps remaining in the race. To our YouTube crowd out there, will the 42 hang on and claim victory here tonight in Atlanta? Let me know. And to turn 1 he goes. That Brandon Houck Racing number 42 of Dylan Duval. Look at that gap as he's making his way into turn 3. By the time Jonathan Wall will be midway down the back straightaway. Eddie Baker Jr., this gentleman, finished 2nd at Daytona. Sitting 14 laps down here with 4 to go in the race here this evening. Started 7th and he's sitting in 9th position though. Well, if the caution flag would happen to fly here tonight, the 42 would seal the deal. There'll be 3 to go when he crosses the start-finish line. Hard-fought battle there for the 42 of Dylan Duval. And you can see Jonathan Wall might not have enough to catch him here this evening, as he's fallen to almost 3 seconds off the pace of the leader. As he makes his way into the back straightaway, folks, white flag's going to fly when this young man here crosses the start-finish line. Dylan Duvall, white flag in the air. One more time around for the 42 of Dylan Duvall here. Been the force to be reckoned with here, folks. 104 laps, soon to be 105 for the 42. Down the back straightaway he goes. Into turns 3 and 4. Here he comes out of turn number 4, the checkered flag in the air. And the 42 of Dylan Duvall will be taking victory here at Atlanta. Taking a look at the results here, folks. Dylan Duvall will be taking first. Jonathan Wall in second. Seth the Merchant in third. Dustin Johnson will fall to fourth after a hard-fought battle for second position and third position here this evening. Rounding out your top 5 will be Brian Wright. Taking a look towards the top 10. David Kane's last week's winner will be 6th position here this evening. Clay Harris, Eddie Baker Jr., Jonathan Eason will fall after that incident he got into there with the 53 of Joe Morgani. And top 10 will be John Diekman here this evening. Going to take a short commercial break, folks. When we come back, we'll have some driver interviews for you, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Atlanta Motor Speedway here this Thursday evening, as we are going to take one final look here at the results before we move to our driver interviews that we have coming up for you. Taking a look at the results. Seeing Dylan Duvall, hard-fought battle there for the 42, taking victory here tonight. Jonathan Wall in second. Seth the Merchant comes in third. Dustin Johnston in fourth. Brian Wright in fifth. We see David Caines, Clay Harris, Eddie Baker Jr., Jonathan Eason, and John Diekman rounding out your top 10. Rusty Capel, William Long, AJ Brissett, William Eason, Ethan McColligan will be rounding out your top 15. Joe Morgani, John McKeege, Cody Tabor, Thomas Smith, and Jeremy Collette round out your top 20 here this evening. Let's go ahead and go to a driver interview for you, folks. We're not able to get the 33 of Seth the Merchant on the line, so we're going to go ahead and move up to the second place finisher here tonight and get a little bit of words here from Jonathan Wall in that number 2 GoPro. Tell you what, Jonathan, it was some good battling there for a while up against the 42 of Dylan Duvall, but as it appeared, once the restart happened, just didn't look like you had enough to catch him towards there as that car took off. But tell us a little bit about this race here tonight.
Yeah, the race was a ton of fun. I'm sure you could tell just from the broadcast and everything. It was definitely very fun because you could run multiple lines and there was a lot of different angles you could take to gain and of course lose time if you didn't do it right. So it was a ton of fun. I didn't make it but 7 laps into this race last year. So.
And tonight you're able to go the whole distance and put yourself up here in the runner-up position. Is there any shout-outs you'd like to give for your second place finish here at Atlanta?
Yeah, I'd like to thank you for broadcasting. I'm sure you did a great job. Appreciate Brian and everything he does for running ICAR. And it was a ton of fun racing Duvall there for the win. So congrats to him.
All right. Well, coming out of Daytona, coming into Atlanta, next week we got Miami Homestead on the schedule. Tell us what we can expect there from the number 2 car.
Well, I genuinely like Homestead Miami. Actually, believe it or not, I have not raced there in a Cup car yet, so it's going to be a learning experience, I'm sure. I have raced trucks there and captured a championship there last season in Hardline, so I definitely have some experience there, but it's going to be a learning curve.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing what you got next week in that number 2 car there. Jonathan, congratulations again to your second place finish, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Thanks, man.
There it is, the number 2 GoPro of Jonathan Wall coming in second place here this evening. And now we're going to move to our first place finisher after a hard-fought battle for this young man. Throughout the field, end up leading 105 laps of the race here this evening. Tell you, Dylan, you had some good battles with some of these cars, but wow, did you have the momentum at the end of this race.
Yeah, it was a good race. We were trying to save tires most of the beginning, I don't know, just about the entire race, except for that last run. The last run we decided to go really hard and see what we could do, and managed to pull away from Wall right there and ended up getting the win, so that was good. It was a great race by everyone tonight.
Yeah, definitely it was a hard-fought battle. No easy victory here at a very tough track to run. What notable points on the track were being difficult? I noticed we seen you run a little bit of low lines, as Jonathan had pointed out. Multiple lines could be run here. What seemed to work for you and help you keep your tires under control?
I found the best for keeping my tires under control was to run the top in 1 and 2 and then back up 3 and 4 and run the bottom and try not to put too much wheel into it. But if you drove it really hard, you could run the bottom both ends and drive just way over your head and run really fast for about 5 laps. But after that, your tires just wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, it definitely looked to be very tough. We saw a lot of guys spin out in turn 4 and coming out of turn number 2. It definitely spelled disaster for Seth the Merchant, the one guy that was giving you some pressure early on. And it seemed like Jonathan Wall comes out of nowhere, puts some pressure on you. Even the 17 of Dustin Johnson had some pressure on you there, but through the adversity, you're able to overcome it and claim victory here tonight. Is there any shout-outs you'd like to give for your finish here?
Yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. Brian Wright and everyone at ICAR for putting the league together. Have to thank the Silent Ninja, Bolton, Kenny, Greg, Neben, and certainly least, Tim Terry.
Well, next week we come out of Atlanta going into Homestead, Miami. What can we expect from tonight's victor here at Atlanta?
We're hoping to have another good race. Hopefully go in there and contend for a win and have some fun.
All right. Well, congratulations again to your victory here tonight. We look forward to seeing what you bring next week when we go down to Miami at the Homestead. Well, there you have it, folks. What a race it was. 130 laps here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Next week, we are going to be back at Homestead, Miami for some more ICAR Gen 6 racing action. This is their Cup Series that you're watching here tonight on the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. Hope you liked it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button there on our YouTube channel so you can stay in the know as to when we go live. Normally we would be bringing you street stocks from the Loose Lug Nuts Racing League tomorrow night, but we'll be going to see Madison Rising, the guys that put on our Star Spangled Banner for each of our broadcasts. They're performing a live concert, their Defend Freedom Tour. Make sure you check them out on the web at MadisonRising.com and on Facebook. Look up Madison Rising. If you're an iRacing driver looking to get into this league, you can always look up the ICAR series on the league directory for iRacing, or check them out on the web. Their website is posted in the description of this broadcast. Well, that looks like it's going to do it for us tonight. We will be back Sunday night for the Sim Racing Short Trackers Pro Series late models. You definitely want to tune in to watch some great short track racing from them folks, as they put on a great one last week at Southern National Motorsports Park. Well, that'll do it for us here tonight. Again, thank you for tuning in to the Digital Forge Broadcast Network. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see you. I'm Dustin Caldwell, reminding you to stay safe, and we'll see you next time.